Hi, mi amores. It's me, Judge Design for Knowledge. Thank you for coming up to this channel on YouTube and tuning in at IAAH Radio Plus. Come check me out every Saturday there and here at 3 o'clock for Know Your Truth Real Talk. So this week on Know Your Truth Real Talk, this episode, I decided to do this content on family ties. The lessons that didn't work. Let's talk about it. Remember those days when you were taught lessons growing up? Different little things were said in the family that you should and shouldn't do, right? Sometimes these things could lead to good things or misinformation. So I decided to create this content just for that, because when you become an adult, you realize that not everything our family taught us was right. Unfortunately, some of us know. For most of it was actually either prejudice or ignorance to the ways of things and ways of doing things. So, due to the misinformation that we were led to the lessons that we were taught, those lessons may have worked for us or not worked for us, right? How did it work out for you? Do you ever think, who taught you that? As you implement it into your family ties with your new family, and your children or husbands and wives, have you implemented those old lessons that didn't work or the lessons that did work? Some things that I think we need to change that were taught. All right, I'm going to start listing them. All right, for one, male chauvinist ideology. Yeah, where did that come from? The belief that men are superior to their female counterparts, that women should stay home, cook, clean, and have children, um, because that's what was good for them. That's what they say. That's what's good for you. That's all we're good at. That's what they believe. This belief treats women as less capable or valuable than her male counterpart. So when you are doing these things, who taught you that? Who taught you these things? Because who wants to feel less valuable than the other counterpart? So these things that we were taught in our families, they were for us or against us, because it doesn't work. For us today, it may have helped them, but I don't think it did. But some people are rigid in old school mentality, and so the new school has come, and we can make those changes and pick and choose which works for you and your family today, and which we throw in the basura. That means the garbage. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like my content or not, so someone else can share it. They'll probably like it more, or it actually will benefit someone else. So don't be selfish. Go out there, share, subscribe, and like. I appreciate that, and I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. Thank you so much. And those that watch and put the likes, thank you. I really care about all of you so much. Anyway, those beliefs that were taught to the male counterparts as they're growing up, that their female counterparts are actually they're superior to the female counterpart, was not true. It's not right to do so. And as I always say, who taught you that? Women should stay home. Who taught you that stuff? I mean, where did they get that stuff up from back then? Because if we stayed home and didn't do our part, well, I believe the answer to, if we don't do that, we could build legacies together. If families taught us in the beginning to build our foundations as one, together as husband and wife, as an equal team to one another, and not just the person that's the head of household, whether it's female or male, it doesn't matter. Two together, by putting in 50-50 together as one, is more significant, and then build a family legacy together is smarter and wiser than what we were taught years ago, which didn't bring any legacies. And if they did, good luck to you and your family. I know families that have, I won't mention, but I learned from that and from experiences of others. So this is why I said there's got to be a change, because you go out there and you see other families and you're like, why? Why were you taught that garbage? I don't need to put them down, but it was garbage. In the basura, that's where you you put it. I mean, who taught you that? That's what I say to a lot of people. Not that I know it all, but some families, as you were probably not brought up that way. Everyone's different. So you learn from other people and you say, wait a minute, I don't think that was right. I don't think that would push you forward in life. So you want to give people your experience as well as they're giving you their experiences. And then you can both compromise, debate, whatever the case may be. That's what this show is about. Know your truth, real talk. So you bring your truth to it. To me, you can leave it in the comment box if you want to. Um, because I always look out for comments and stuff like that. Because, like I said, my accuracy is my own experience. These are not facts, but these are proven experience that has actually, in my life, own personal life and other people's life and work experience and personal experience and experience of life. So I just wanted to share this with you because sometimes we don't know these things, and whoever knows, good for you. Maybe you don't need a channel like this. This is one a channel for empowerment for those that didn't know or want to know or are inquisitive on what kind of information I have or whatever content. Another one lesson that we were taught: well, boys don't do that. Boys don't do that. Girls should behave like. When you're taught by your family how you should look and act, girls should only wear dresses, boys shouldn't cry or do anything that acts feminine. Girls are, in order to behave like a lady, being too strong is being too manly. Who taught you that? I mean, that's my thing. I'm gonna end every one of these with who taught you that? Because it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Definitely ridiculous. Who taught you this stuff? Because when you teach your children that a gender norm, being gender normal, under in other words, boys supposed to do this, girls supposed to be that, can stifle self expression and their identity. Now we know why some people, they don't know who they are, and it's sad. And some do, and they're not accepted. That's them. But I'm just saying, this is the confusion that we have when you tell people this is how you're supposed to act. That's how you're supposed to be. Another one is you must respect your elders. Remember that one? Yeah. We were taught that we shouldn't have any opinions. Remember that? Or make anyone any opinions when an older person speaks, even if they didn't make any sense, right? Or if they were absent-minded to what the situation is. Why can't we can have respect, but we can't input, is what they're saying. Who taught you that? That's ridiculous. First of all, respect should be mutual and not automatic, okay? No one deserves to be over. Yes, I respect my elders because of their wisdom, but that's where it ends. If I feel that there's inaccuracy in what they have to say, I'm going to speak up on it, not to argue, but my opinion counts just as much as theirs, so why should I not say a thing? Respect is different. It's not the same. It should be mutual and not automatic. For instance, I seen on the news, this is a grandmother, and this is what they did when we were younger, slapped with a chancleta her daughter. They didn't say what age. It could have been a grown adult, for taking her food. She got arrested for it. My thing is that I'm not saying that's right or wrong to arrest her, but that's old school lessons that some people aren't going to adapt to today. This is what I'm talking about with this show. These are old lessons that are not working. And who knows what the reason really was that she used her chancleta on her daughter. But the whole point is they deserve respect, but not to disrespect their grandchildren, their children, or anyone else. That doesn't mean that we allow them to just do what they want, right? Right, guys? You agree? If you agree, let me know. Put a like on that and tell me, yeah, I agree with that. We all love our elders and our grandparents because we're going to get there one day, whether you like it or not. Days are coming, you're getting older each year, and they're going pretty fast, right? So we should learn to respect them just because we know they're older than us. Respect means helping them across the street, seeing if they're okay and they need food. But as far as when we're speaking to one another in a dialogue, if they're rude and disrespectful, you put them to a stop. I mean, being quiet and allowing them to be rude is not helping either one of us. Another rule, a lesson that we were taught, most of us in our household, is finish everything on your plate. Remember that? Now I know why there's so many big people out here, and my love to the big girls and big guys. No problem with you, none at all. But Was it healthy? Finish everything on your plate. When you are told that we must eat everything because we are lucky to have food on our table, that's true. But aren't taught how unhealthy some of the food was. Who taught you that? I mean, that's ridiculous. If we're going to have that much food, let it be healthy. If we're big boned, we're going to be big, regardless. Some of us could work out forever, and it's never going to happen. I have nothing against that. But just to eat unhealthy foods, just because we have it on our plates, just because we're fortunate to have food, just eat it. That's called gluttony, actually, and it's a sin. But either way, yeah. Who taught you that? Because I don't like that. I remember being said in many households I've been to. This could actually lead to unhealthy eating habits and obesity, I should say, right? So why would you want to do that to someone? I know if we can't eat healthy, then what do you do? Fast? Yeah, fasting isn't bad. I like it. Another one is marriage is the goal. So when you're a young girl, or sometimes men, I'm not sure, but as a young woman, we're told marriage is the goal. If you were when you were a man, good for you, because some men don't want to um, have a solid foundation with one person, and some women don't either. But to be real and realistic, even if marriage is the goal, when we're taught to marry for status or gain, not for love, because it is noble and what's best for you or the family, who taught you that? Because most people, that's what they're taught growing up. A lot, not most, a lot of people are taught it's the noble thing to do, which is cute. That's true. It's good. But for status and gain or for the family, who taught you that? That's incorrect. I don't believe in that. And I don't think anyone here does either. Do you? I couldn't. Never. I wish this was live because then I would get some dialogue here. Those that are up and awoke would know. And it's 3 p.m. somewhere. But not everyone wants or needs marriage to feel fulfilled. Not everybody needs that to feel fulfillment in their lives, nor should it be used to use others for monetary gain or status. It is a sacred union, not a union to come together two people because one's broke and one isn't, and you need to pay your bills, so I'm just gonna marry you today. That's not we're not bargaining chips. None of us are, or tools, or whatever people manipulators use. Um, this is one of the things that I really can't stand about people that misconstrue marriages and thinking that that's what it's about. Don't get married. Stay by yourself. You can do it. You can make your own money, fulfill your own dreams. And if you can't, you have no right marrying people for that. And if you were told that growing up, go rewrite the scripts because it's incorrect. Your family taught you wrong. And so I'm always going to ask, who taught you that? Because this is not what anyone should do to be used by others for monetary gain or status. And I've heard it a lot of families, even on television growing up, where people say, well, you should because they have money or blah, 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 or arranged marriages. That's not proper. Those things may last, but it's not true, though. It's not sacred. And if you're not going into a sacred union, don't get into. Who asked you? You don't need to. You don't have to. Okay. It's okay. Okay, okay. A sacred union is a sacred union. Another subject that we were taught in lessons is never talk about money. Have you ever been in a family, if you're not your own, or sat down at dinner and, as soon as money was discussed, everyone went quiet? Things like when it's never discussed in the family, conversations, money and conversations is because money is the root of all evil. Who taught you that? We know it's the root of all evil. That doesn't mean you can't talk about it. It doesn't make you greedy. It doesn't make you a thief. It doesn't make it an idol. Okay? Because avoiding financial conversations can lead to poor money management and missed opportunities. So make sure you don't take those lessons from the past with you to your future family, because half of it needs to be thrown where? In the basura. That's right. Subscribe, like, and share if you like what this content is saying so far. I got a lot more content, so I'm just piling up and just thinking, which one should I use this week? Sometimes I also get content on my way to work, or grilling, and I go, wait a minute, this is good. I'm going to use this week. Things that happen at work, and I see it in other people's experiences and people that need help with certain things. I say, wait, that's a good topic. I'm going to use that this week. So, if you were wondering, not most of you weren't, but if you were, that's how I pull these contents together. But like I said, avoiding financial conversations can lead to poor money management and missed opportunities. And that, my dear madam or sir, is not good. It's definitely not good for us at all. Hard work always pays off. Remember that one? Yeah. My parents used to say this one a lot, and I really went through it. Not the way I'm going to explain it now, but that was the vocal part. Hard work always pays off. So when we are taught to work hard in life because nothing comes easy, we start looking for work with long hours, weekends, and overtime. Who taught you that? That's not what you want. You don't want to hard work. You want to work smart, smarter, not harder. The effort matters, not how much you put into it. And let me do more hours. That's going to make me get more money. If you work smarter, because that's what I'm doing now, you make more money sometimes. It doesn't mean everybody now. But it doesn't necessarily mean that hard labor gives you more money either. You're just going to go home mentally tired and physically tired. So what I did, and give you my personal experience, I go for promotions, I go for the jobs. If I don't like it somewhere after a year or so, I stay within my corporation, the unified court system. I stay there. But I also, that's my employer, I also, not only do I stay there, but I will transfer to an area that's more convenient for me as I grow older and more experienced in certain things. I get bored, so I want to take up another legal aspect of where I work. So you can do that, indulge in your career. You can either stay where you are but move up at least, and within the same um, area like I am, I stay in that area of law, but I move up to other areas that are effort, where my effort matters. Like, it's going to be simpler. I already started off hard, so now I start smart. I utilize that and I get where I need to. And other people should do the same, because when you start going thinking that it's best to do, yes, I'm not saying I've done overtime. I don't need to anymore, though. You know what I'm saying? When you make enough now, you don't have to do it. Not that I wouldn't want to make more, but I don't have time for that. I put my time in other things now. I don't let an institution run my show all the time. And, eventually they won't be running it at all, because, I'm working on, like everyone else should, how you can maintain your own without working for people. Because sometimes you have it, the smarts, the skills, and enough of it that you say, enough is enough. It's time to take care of what I need to for my future goals. And it may sound like, wow, well, I want to be able to pay my bills. But if you always think like that, you'll be stuck working for people for the rest of your life. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Oh, I've been for three decades now, I think. No, 2 decades. Yeah, with my employer. And so basically, with that being said, I can actually say, you know what, I would like to go now, or whatever. And you can do the same. I'm not saying you go for 1 year unless you're super intelligent and ready to make that money, because it's not easy out here. You got to get the skills, you got to get the knowledge of information, experience, and all of that before you try on your own to run your own business or do your own entrepreneur skills, whatever it is for you. But good luck to you if you do. It's a great thing. I've seen a lot of people that have done it, and actually I had given them advice on what they're good at, and they went for it, and that was great. So that's when you have the experience, or even if you don't have the experience, but you're good at something else. And that good something else, you can run your own LLC or get your own business. Wait, this is not what this episode is about. I'll bring that up on another one. Sorry, guys. I just get carried away when I want to help other people. As I always tell people to take the exams when they're out. The Chief is a good magazine for civil service. If you're working for corporation and they fail, go to government. There's not much left out here to run to that makes money. So you could go to by the Chief. It's out every Tuesday in New York City. All right. So work smarter, not harder. The effort matters, right? We'll leave it at that. Now, the next lesson that we were taught was get a stable job and stay there. We were just talking about. It's funny how this subject came up next. When you're taught that any job will do as long as it pays, you take anything that will keep a paycheck coming. Who taught you that? We just went through this, so I don't need to go there again. I didn't even know that was the next lesson I was going to bring up. But flexibility and adaptability often matters more to yourself than loyalty to an institution. So I was just saying that. And so there, take that, because whoever taught you that other way is not working. All right. Some of these lessons we were taught, they're not working, guys. So please don't bring it on into your family that you think because we're blood, I'm going to have to do what my mommy or daddy did, because did it work for them? No. That's what you got to ask yourself. Did it work? I don't think so. But either way, then how about this one? Family comes first, no matter what. No, I used to believe that, right? Because we were taught that all the time. You were taught that blood is thicker than water, but your family walks over you and uses you as their ATM and doormat. I mean, come on, man. Some act like they have familial, and I say familial. I prefer the word family entitlement. It's the same meaning, but it's not called family. Family entitlement to whatever you own. So these people are actually thinking just because we're blood ties, not anyone with blood ties is family, true, but how are you entitled to what I have? But this is what I'm talking about, the lessons we were taught. They are entitled to whatever you own. Who says families come first? And some don't even like you. Who taught you that? I mean, families come first. Some of them don't even like you. Some people, their own parents don't like them. And it's sad. And their own children and their grandchildren, cousins. Not everyone in the blood family loves you. So you got to be careful when you allow people to say that they're entitled to everything you have, whether they helped you with it or not. And just because I'm your family or your family doesn't make you entitled. Who taught you this? Because when you think like that, this can enable toxic relationships and discourage setting. It discourages setting boundaries with others. And boundaries, I found out recently. Oh my God! And I do have videos on boundaries, setting boundaries. Please do it, because I didn't realize in my life that I was being walked over. And yeah, we all are. You could say you weren't, but at some point you were, either by an employer, friends, co-workers, family, okay, and some children. So you got to set boundaries, okay, because then you'll be used as a warm, a doormat, and you don't want that. So when you set these boundaries, people know who you are and they give you more respect. And if they don't talk to you, then they were meant to step on over you, and now they don't have the opportunity to do so. They step off. So be careful and go watch my shows, setting boundaries. I have like 4 or 5 of them, different ones, whichever subject or topic I should say suits you. Go check that out. Setting boundaries. Anyway, so those type of things that we were taught would enable toxic relationships and discourages setting healthy boundaries. And boundaries are really healthy for everyone. I had to teach some people that didn't think that it was good to do that, but then eventually they were like, I'm glad I listened to you because it worked. All right. Our next lesson that we were taught: forgive and forget. Our church teaches us to forgive. That I'll do, but forget? I don't think so. We are taught to forgive and forget in church, outside of church, especially when it comes to family. These are things family do that are just, there are things family do that are just unforgettable. Why are we taught that it's okay if family does it? Who taught you this? I don't care what anyone says. If you have family members that walk on you and treat you like a ATM, um, or have done personal things to you that, I mean, I've heard some very personal stuff in the courthouse. Because like I said in last week's videos, episodes, we get the most personal relationships, period. It's relationships, no matter whether they're personal, whatever it is, we get them. Family, criminal relationship, whatever the case is. So I hear a lot of stuff in the courtroom. And what I have to say is some people can't forgive. and some people can. It's a Christian thing. It's a spiritual thing. You need to let go and forgive and move on. It doesn't mean you have to be that person's friend, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their sister, or brother. You can move on. Family members, whatever the case you call them, you can move on. You don't have to hate them, but you should forgive them. Some people don't. It's not what they are about. Um, but one thing I cannot do is forget. So this way I'm not walked on over and over again. So I really see so many things that look unforgivable, but you know what? We have to do it for ourselves. Forgettable? No, I can't. There's just some things that are unforgettable, and why we were taught it's okay if family does it is beyond me. Who taught you that? Because I can't understand. Forgiveness is actually personal. It's up to the individual to forgive. I choose to. And forgetting can be ignoring people who have hurt you and create patterns of harm. So if you continue to allow that person to keep harming you, it's because you believe that forgiving is okay by keeping the relationship open. No, forgiving and close that door. I have another video on that. Go check that out. Closing the door, shutting doors and stuff like that on past, which is really good. I'm going to do another one on that because a lot of people, they don't know how to do that. Some people just really can't, and move on and move forward and upward. And it's important that we learn how to do that. I'm learning, I've learned, and I'm experienced enough to now put it in my content. But harming people instead of moving forward in your own life makes you a coward. So I choose not to be one. Another lesson is don't cry, be strong. Remember that your parents would say, come on, you can't cry whether you fell or something happened. Be strong. I know I did that to my sons when they would fall. Be strong. When you're taught crying means you're weak, hold it in no matter what. Who taught you that? No, don't hold it in no matter what. Crying does not make you weak. Suppressing emotions can lead to long term mental health struggles. Vulnerability is strength, actually. It makes you stronger. So let it out, because that's what we're supposed to do. Keeping it in does not do a good thing for us. If people that know you, usually people that keep it in long like that, whether it's crying or other aspects of things that can happen that are very suppressing. When depressing, I should say, when you suppress your emotions, you realize that you are doing more harm not only for others. They end up doing harm to others, but to yourself, which is very, very important not to do to anyone or yourself. Another lesson we were taught growing up that isn't good for us is debt is always bad. Oh, okay, let's see why. When you're taught to not make your major purchases or investments, and I heard people say they'd never buy a house. And good, don't sit there. Go pay your rental to your landlord forever. You don't have to just buy a house. There's condos. There's other ways of ownership, and maybe it's not good fun to some people. Who knows? But you are not going to go in debt by trying to improve yourself. But anyway, when you're taught not to make major purchases or investments because you will go in debt, and that's not good, who taught you this? Because those type of things is really not healthy. You have to take chances here in life. Strategic debt like student loans and mortgages can be a tool for growth. You may go in debt with the student loan, but you got something out of it. Even if you don't get the job right away, you have the experience, you have the knowledge of information. You can even run your own business if you start it up and you're smart enough to do so. Take that debt and use it as a positive tool of growth. Or a mortgage, like I just said, you could go in debt because of it, but you know what? You have your own now. You get to experience ownership. You get to eventually you can sell it if it's that bad for you and get something back from it. So this can be a tool of growth for you. So those old school saying about debt is always bad. Who taught you that? Leave those lessons in the where? Basura. Keep it in the basura. That means garbage. Those of you tuning in later, we should rid ourselves is another lesson. Um, I choose to state we should rid ourselves mentally of most of the lessons we were taught. Okay, because If we don't, we end up bringing it to the next generation and generations after that, pick up the same bad lessons, bad habits, bad misinformation. It didn't work for us. When you realize it doesn't work for you, then you make the change. But I chose to use this as a metaphor of a computer. So check it out. I'm putting it in the trash mentally, okay? And I'm learning from my mistakes and learn from the mistakes made. This is where you need to put the lessons. Putting it in the trash. You know, in the computer, this is metaphor. The computer has trash, right? So you put it there and learn from the mistakes made. Then you place it in the recycle bin. Okay, do that. You place it there because right now you're not throwing it out yet. You place it in the recycling bin by asking yourself, how has that worked out for me? Hmm. Did that really work for me? Now, while you're sitting there, depending on how long it's going to take you to delete, because that's your final step, press the delete and delete all that was not working for you and that you were taught out of your mindset. Delete it out of your mindset and reset. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. Because for example, remember those times when our parents used to use with their old schools aunts and stuff like that, they would have handkerchiefs with money coins in there, and fathers always had bills in their pockets. If it didn't mean, let me go back. Some parents always had money in their pockets, right? Or purses. It doesn't mean anything if they didn't utilize it in a way to benefit from it, does it? It's how they spent it that matters. Did they have bank accounts or saving accounts? Even if you didn't put it in a bank, you saved it somehow. Did they build what they had? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. And the next time you choose to follow the lessons, to use the same samples, to use the same samples that they did, the same lessons you were taught. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. How did that work out for you? Because I want to know. Please let me know how that worked out for you. Because when it didn't work out for them, why would you actually extend it to your family lessons? Let's build new lessons, growth, and our new experiences, new school stuff. No problems to the old school. There was some wisdom there, but we have to decipher which ones we take with us, which lessons, and which we throw in the what? Basura. I'm glad you all joined me here today. I can't wait to see you guys live next Saturday at 3. I hope to post my event. I have so many I haven't posted, so sorry, but I'll try to post this one coming up today. I've got to go check that smoker right now, grilling my seafood and my London bro. I hope you all are having a wonderful Saturday. IAAH Radio, thank you. DJ CEO 5 a.m. Thank you to all the DJs that support me. House of Genre Radio, all of you guys. And go watch and listen to my man, my husband, DJ Buggin' Heart. He's pretty good too. Every Tuesday on IAAH Radio and Thursday on House of Genre. And you could go check those channels out anyway. But IAAH has the best of the best. And they're all over the country. So Asia and everywhere. So go listen to them. The best DJs and the best music in town. Thanks for supporting me. IAAH Radio. Thank you to my subscribers and all of you here on YouTube. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And with that being said, it's a good day. Let's have a great one. Let's enjoy each and every moment we have out here. Like I said, always think about what you were taught and ask yourself, did that work out for you? All right. I'm sure it didn't. And if it did, good for you. You keep that one. You don't have to throw it in the basura. Bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth here on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, Judge Josiah Fanaj, is now adjourned. I will see you all next week, Saturday. Ciao, my friends, my loves, mi amores.